people always ask me, why are you in El Salvador? And there are like factors like fruits, weather, the beach or whatever, but there's like this feeling in the air which you cannot describe. You can feel it, but you cannot see it.
It's on the upswing.
Yes,
like you feel that like life is getting better. Where like
and the same thing happens in Europe. You have the feeling you cannot see, you cannot really describe it, but you can feel it. And the feeling here is like super vibrant, super like positive, and there it's like super depressive. And also you can meditate like the whole day, but it will have an impact on you, because where you're living is always having like an impact on you. And if like everything is going down.
Marc, glad to have you in here. I've heard about the Bitcoin hotel in Germany, and I didn't realize you were actually spending some time in El Salvador these days. So
I'm glad to be here, like looking forward for the podcast where we're going.
You look like you've been out in the sun, enjoying the beach. You got a nice tan going there. You're not dealing with the drudgery of winter in Germany.
Yeah, I'm escaping actually the winter, because it's so awesome to be here. I'm so glad, because you have all the sun, you have like the great nature and everything, and I'm just like exploring and like blown away of El Salvador.
So give us a little bit of your history. I know some of the other people we've had on the podcast actually have talked about the Bitcoin hotel in Germany that I don't know, it's your family's or what the backstory is on that. So tell us how this came to be, how you came into Bitcoin, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in Europe and what you're seeing happening there.
Yeah, so the story is pretty crazy actually, because nowadays we have so many news stations or articles written about the Bitcoin hotel, because it's really going viral in Germany. Probably everyone knows the Bitcoin hotel, because it was just like a basic family business. And at some point I realized, hey, why not use Bitcoin and combine this with like our family business? And Bitcoin is there to make our life better. And it's just like...
Hey guys, just a brief interruption. We'll get back to the exciting show here, but I just want to really ask a favor that you guys could make sure that you're subscribed if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on a podcast, please take a second and review this. You don't even have to write a lengthy review or anything at all. Just click the number of stars that you want to give us. It really helps us in the algorithms to make sure people are finding out about what's happening here. All right, back to the show.
Michael Saylor realized, hey, I can take Bitcoin and bring my company on the next level. Or like families realize, hey, I can take Bitcoin and bring my family business on the next level. Or as an individual, if I'm saving. And then I just realized I can connect like what I love with our family business, and then it pretty much blow off, because like we created like a center. We're actually decentralized in Bitcoin, but this is like a center where like all the Bitcoin people, the crazy plebs, they can gather in Germany, and we have like events, we have like Bitcoin themed rooms, we have Bitcoin Satoshi Cappuccino, we have like crazy gimmicks over there, and it's like the Bitcoin dream come true for people going there. And this is like basically the journey, and we realized it was like the best thing we could ever do. But now we are like really facing lots of problems in Europe, and lots of people, lots of smart people with money, they are thinking about, okay, moving to other places, because what's going on there is really like concerning. And so we decided to sell the hotel. It's now in the selling process, so it's not sold yet, but we're like in discussion with like investors, and the best case were to just like have another investor to overtake it. So in order for us to like diversify a bit out of Germany or out of Europe, because it's fine and we love the project and we want to keep it forward, and actually it looks good. So probably we have like another Bitcoiner who is like overtaking it, and we're probably not the main shareholder anymore, so just like part shareholder. This is like a better risk management thing for us. So we actually.
But they're going to keep it as a Bitcoin hotel.
That's the best case. That's the best case. Yeah, because actually it would be dumb to just trash it, because it's just like a super profitable business. It's like way more profitable than like a normal hotel. So therefore it would be like super dumb to just buy the hotel and make like a standard hotel out of it, because you have like now the first mover advantage. You have like all the media coverage and everything. So this is like actually a no-brainer to do like a Bitcoin hotel. And I'm surprised no one else is like doing things like that. But I mean, it's, I don't know why other hotels are not doing it, but so far we are like the first in Germany. And then what I also started is like a YouTube channel, which also like was super blowing off. We have like now 1.4 million views per month and are like one of the most watched Bitcoin only YouTube channels in the world. And this by not speaking English, but by actually speaking German. And this is like my passion about Bitcoin. I'm just like talking in the phone, talking about Bitcoin, what's happening. This is super crazy, and this opens so much doors for me. I'm meeting like so many crazy people, and I realized I can do this from everywhere. And why should I spend like in the winter in Germany when I also can go to El Salvador, where I have like super nature, where I have like super friendly people,
much better weather. So getting back to the story, we'll talk about the YouTube channel in a little bit, but first I want to focus on the hotel. When did the idea come to turn it into this Bitcoin themed hotel? And then was it immediately that I'm assuming now most of the guests that come are Bitcoiners and are paying in Bitcoin. So tell me if that's true or not, but how was that like transformation process of turning it into a Bitcoin entity?
So this was like not like a quick moment and then everything was Bitcoin. It was like a gradual way to go there. So it actually started all in the pandemic, in the Corona time, and we were not able to meet at the meetups anymore. And so we just made like secret meetups in the hotel, or we met like to walk together. So we not even met like all the time in the hotel. So it was officially like we're going out in nature walking.
Okay.
And then we realized, okay, why not also accept Bitcoin, and why not always also like open for Bitcoin? And I always wanted to express myself, and in this time I did not have like a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever. And I think everyone wants to express themselves, and if you have like the realization that Bitcoin is probably fixing 50% of all the problems in the world or even more, then probably you want to share it with other people. And this was like the most natural way for me or for my family then also to like bring Bitcoin into the world. And the idea actually came from me, but then I quickly orange pilled my mother, my sister, and they were pretty fast like on the track. And then it was actually a gradually process, and also like it was not just us doing it. It was like so many people then coming and having like ideas. Oh, we can do this. Can we do a meetup there? Can we do an event there? They built like gadgets where you can pay with Lightning, and then you can get something out by paying with Bitcoins, or like vending machines or whatever. So it was not just us.
So do you have vending machines there that you can pay with Lightning?
Yes, we have, but now it's broken.
Because I've been wanting to see that happen here in El Salvador. I've talked to some different people, but because I feel like that could be huge.
I mean, to be honest, it was like a super nice journey, because I was also developing and helping to develop. And for some point, it was like super running good. But then if you're not keeping with maintenance and everything, then it's like really hard to maintain it. I mean, what we're having is like a jukebox. This is like super solid. This is like working all the time, where you just can choose a track and pay it with Lightning. And this is also like a super showcase, because if like TVs are coming or people who are interested, I just say, okay, go there, pay with Lightning, and then the tracks get played. But the jukebox really is broken right now. No, not the jukebox is broken. The vending machine.
The vending machine, yeah. No, I had in a past life I had operated a number of coin-operated machines, and so I understand. There's a lot of things that go wrong.
And it's like a 20-year-old vending machine, so it's like a really big one. And it's not like Bitcoin is the problem. It's more like the
No, there's a lot of moving parts to actually dispense products. So, but I think for anybody who's listening out there that is looking for idea, I think Lightning-powered vending machines would be huge, especially in a place like El Salvador, where so many people have Bitcoin wallets. So, love to see that happen. So, now in the hotel, are pretty much all the guests Bitcoiners, or do you have people just show up that don't realize it's a Bitcoin hotel, and they get there and they look around and like, who are these crazy people, or what's that been like?
So you have to know it's like actually a business hotel. So actually 80% are like business people. It's not like a touristic spot like here at Bitcoin Beach. And I would say the Bitcoin crowd is not like 100%. It's like more like 20%, 30%, because you have to imagine it's like a big hotel with 50 rooms, and to sell out a Bitcoin hotel with 50 rooms every day is like super crazy. I mean, it's just not realistic right now. I mean, it's a transition. You have to start at some point, and there are lots of people, they don't even know about Bitcoin, but then they are realizing, oh, what's that? That's the white paper. Oh, what's that? That's the Satoshi bar. Oh, what's that? That's a Bitcoin.
So you guys are orange pilling these.
I mean, we have a Bitcoin Bible in every room. So we trashed the normal Bible, and we put a Bitcoin standard in every room. So we have like orange pilling things like everywhere. So you can't, you cannot. I mean, there are really people that don't realize that it's all Bitcoin, but it's hard to realize there is no Bitcoin over there. So it's like a gentle way to orange pill them. Or, I mean, it's not about orange pilling, it's just about expressing our love, because orange pilling proactively never works, because you're just getting yourself in trouble if you try to force people. And I mean, we are always complaining that we are forced to use the dollar, but if we then force people to use Bitcoin, I think it's not like the best way. It's like the natural way to like just let it flow. And if someone is ready, and if someone is having like the Bitcoin moment, then they are ready to go, and everyone gets the price they deserve.
That is true. Paco, do we have any pictures of the hotel? Okay. Well, where can people find hotel if they want to find out information about it?
Yeah, you can check up Bitcoin Hotel. Just type it in Google.
Okay. And they'll see a bunch of articles and different things.
You will find lots of things. You will probably also find the YouTube channel. So you actually, probably also lots of listeners will already know it.
Okay. So you had mentioned that you guys are looking to kind of diversify out of Germany and offline. Before we started, you were saying that you see a ton of concerning things happening, both in Germany but in Europe in general. So what is it that you're seeing that's made you concerned and made you want to kind of try to get out of that region?
I mean, the thing is, Bitcoin brings you like in this self-sovereign mindset, and you want to be like not governed by anyone, and you want to be like a more freedom type of person. And the thing is, what I really realize, there are two factors. So there's, on the one hand, there is like push factors, and on the other hand, there's like pull factors. So I think it's never a good idea to just escape because you don't like the situation. It's always better to improve your life by going for something you want. So it's not about like escaping socialism. It's about gaining more freedom. It's not about like escaping like your bad life. It's about upgrading your life to the next level. It's not about like escaping like something. It's like upgrading your health to the next level. And this is where I see El Salvador as a big part of this journey, or not just El Salvador, it can be any place. So what's happening right now, lots of places are like actually the Titanic. So they are going down. So like the economy is going down, like people are getting mad. There's like lots of problems. They are even talking about war situations and whatever, but there are always places where the Titanic is not going down, where we're not crashing, but where actually things start to happen and things start to start to build. And for me, El Salvador is a place where like the Titanic is not sinking, but it's actually the rocket going up to the moon. And so it's the question, so Bitcoin is scarce, but your time in this body on this earth is also scarce. So the question for you is, do you want to waste your life at like a sinking ship, or do you want to take the decision and spend your time, spend your life, spend your awareness at a place where things are going forward, and also where you see like for you like probably more opportunities? Because as I said, it's not about escaping, it's always about upgrading your life. And what always concerned me, I mean, this has nothing to do with Europe, but it's like in the winter you have like 6 months like just dark, like rainy, whatever. And if you can do it, and if you have like Bitcoin, the purchasing power in your bag, and if you have like the flexibility with Bitcoin, why not use this flexibility? Because now you have the flexibility, and why should you not use it? And therefore, for me, it's actually a no-brainer to at least like go like for the winter time to like a other destination, to see something else, try something else out, check out a new culture and whatever. And this is actually like the way more important thing, because if you're just escaping from what you don't like, I think long term it won't work. You always have to go to what you want to pull in your life. And what I want to manifest in my life is like more happiness, more joy, more wealth, more freedom. And it's also not about escaping taxes. It's about upgrading your wealth to the next level, because in order to upgrade your wealth, probably you have to escape like the tax hells and what they are planning with property control and property taxes and whatever they are planning. I mean, they're really going crazy in Europe. It's not said that it will come like the worst case, but there are things planned with like also like the CBDCs and central bank digital money and all the control. And I mean, it's like a thinking ship. And in a thinking ship, you always have to tax people, you have to rob, steal, and whatever. And this is happening not the first time. This is happening like for centuries. But now we're like in the circle where we're actually in the downfall. And this is like where you just have to be super focused on what you're choosing, where you're focusing, where you're going, where your awareness is going. And like the biggest vote in life you can do is the vote with your feet. And if you realize that politicians can probably not even change the situation, then you just have to change it by yourself, be the thing you want to see in the world. Like Gandhi said, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. And the solution or the thing for me is to be here.
Well, and I keep reading these articles just talking about how the manufacturing sector and the basically the small businesses that have always kind of been the superpower of Germany have really been being hollowed out by a lot of it by the lack of energy and the rising energy prices, but also the tax structure. So as a hotel that is kind of catering to business people, that must have be impacting your guys' business also. And
yes,
hopefully the Bitcoin component kind of compensates for that.
Yes, exactly. So actually what the Bitcoin component compensated is like the loss we had like from all the industry things, because you have to imagine we're in Stuttgart and this is like the epicenter of like all the car industry and whatever, and they are like totally crashing. And it's if the car industry is crashing, it's like all the people who are working with the car industry, they are also crashing, and it's like super depressing because just like I think people always ask me, why are you in El Salvador? And there are like factors like fruits, weather, the beach or whatever, but there's like this feeling in the air which you cannot describe. You can feel it, but you cannot see it.
It's on the upswing.
Yes,
like you feel that like life is getting better. Where like
and the same thing happens in Europe. You have the feeling you cannot see, you cannot really describe it, but you can feel it. And the feeling here is like super vibrant, super like positive, and there is like super depressive. And also you can meditate like the whole day, but it will have an impact on you, because I mean, where you're living is always having like an impact on you. And if like everything is going down, I mean, I'm not like bearish like on long term, because after everything is cleaned out, this is like a cleansing which is happening now, a transition what is happening now. When everything is cleaned, then like probably it has to be cleaned even more.
But how is it a transition when you see all these small businesses having to go under because they can't afford the electricity prices and that has been the bedrock of the German economy. So what is going to replace that?
Nothing. So it will crash, and then after the crash you can rebuild. It's like always what's happening in history. So probably you're having like, I mean, this is always also having to do with the money. So it's not just in Europe, it's probably also in the US. You're always having like those big money cycles. And I mean, the dollar is probably also like more on the end cycle. So it's probably not having like another 100 years, but probably 10, 5, 20, whatever. And everything, if like a big currency change is happening, and the same thing is like going on in Europe, I think the euro is not like the best currency in the world. So whenever we have like those changes, they are also like closely linked to the money. Then what's happening is like the economy is going down, like we're having lots of problems in like by the people. And then oftentimes what happens is like war is starting, and then everything is just like resetted. We have like a big reset, and then everything can start to rebuild. And then also we have like not so much state involving, so everything is like resetted. And then at some point you realize, oh, now I'm back at socialism, and then everything starts again. So what we're experiencing now is nothing new. It's just that we forgot about what's happening in like those cycles, because our grandpa or our grandpa probably can remember what's happened after the World War in Germany, and then everything was like bombed down and we started to rebuild. And I'm always hearing like the stories from my grandpa. He said like, oh, you could just start like every business, everything worked. And this feeling I have like in El Salvador, you can just do like almost everything. And if you're like a bit of a smart thinker or whatever, you can make everything running. And in Germany, it's like, oh, we are like more on the other side. So we have the crash in front of us. And after crashing, then we can probably start to rebuild. But the problems, they are so structurally deep. It's like the tax problems, it's like the bureaucracy, it's like there are so many people like taking like money out of the system, the inefficiency, so it's so hard to fix it. And I'm not sure, I mean, probably you can fix it, but the people, they don't want to fix it. So
you really just need it all to burn down and build from the ashes.
I mean, lots of people are saying it's not like something that's just happening by accident. It's like happening by purpose. So they are purposefully like throwing the country in the trash.
So how did the YouTube channel pop up? So you were doing working in the family business, the hotel, and then where did that idea come from? And what do you credit with making it so popular and so viewed there in Germany?
So this happened because actually all the Bitcoiners were coming to the hotel and I was talking all the time with them. And then at some point I thought, okay, why not put a camera on it and just do the same I'm always doing, talk with the people. And then we started to do interviews, just I'm doing like with you. And you have all the people coming here. You don't have to go to the people, meet them. They are just all naturally coming. And
that's the reason we decided to do the podcast. It was like we're in this unique situation where we have all these, unique Bitcoiners coming to us. We don't have to travel anywhere. So.
And I would even say it's more like, not even that I wanted to change the world or whatever. I just did what I love to do, and I just learned so much from the guests. And it's just like you're having like the time of your life. And if you're like in a podcast, you can go like in a way more deep discussion. And also like the awesome thing is, for example, if I say like to a big person, oh, can we meet for a coffee or can we meet like for a pupusa or whatever, then they will say, oh no, I don't have time. But if you say like, oh, I have like a podcast with like 1 million views a month, do you want to come to my podcast? And then I say, yeah, sure, I will come. And then you get like in connection with like really super smart people where you can learn a lot. And this like was like the beginning journey. And at some point I started to get more confident and I started to do like also single videos. I mean, in the beginning they were total crap. But then I started to find like my style. It's not like the super serious Bitcoin videos. It's more like sometimes funny videos, like super like, they're awkward videos sometimes. But I'm like covering like Bitcoin and I'm also like expressing a bit of my personality. And I started to really feel this is like what's really fulfilling me, because it's like for me now like a mantra. So if I'm not doing Bitcoin videos, it feels like a bit of emptiness in myself, because it brings me back in this flow. So I already have like this flow and I already have like those habits of doing like videos, because it's so awesome in those times to be not on the consumer side but be on the producer side. Because we are bombarded with like social media, and I was always like a big opponent of social media and everything. But at some point I realized I just had the wrong perspective. If you're not the consumer, but if you're like the producer, then it's so awesome, because we have so many opportunities with AI and with all the social media that's going on and with YouTube, and you can connect with the people, and it's just so much fun, and I love the experience and everything so much. And so basically it's just like following my heart, what fulfills me.
And what are you thinking of El Salvador? When was the first time you came to El Salvador? And it sounds like, this isn't your first trip, right?
It's second.
Second trip, okay. Yeah. So when was your first trip?
This was like in the beginning of last year, so probably around the ETF approval, so around January, February, March, something like that.
And then you decided, okay, I'm going to come back again, get out for the winter. And it sounds like this is kind of longer term. You kind of see this as a place that might be your second home or your first home, or what's your thoughts on that, and what do you see? What would you say to other people that are looking to move to El Salvador?
So I would say it's super individual. So also like I have like so many people who are like now coming to El Salvador. They're already living here, and I'm so surprised because they're watching my videos, and I'm like doing videos on the volcanoes or whatever, and now they're coming here, moving here, and then I'm like always, oh wow, shit, I actually made them go to El Salvador, and this is like, I'm not sure if this is like I mean, it's always like a bit of shocking for me, because you're just like doing something you like, and then people follow you and they come and whatever. So what is like important, or what if you want to go to El Salvador? I think it's super individual. Some people will like it, some people probably won't like it. So it's not like a country for everyone. And so if you're like a nature lover, if you like probably less bureaucracy, like a more chilled lifestyle, more like positive vibes, then definitely is something for you. But if you're looking like for super fancy whatever infrastructure and the blinking streets and whatever, then it's actually not so good for you. But it's actually the life my grandpa was always talking about, because he always said like, oh, when I was young, everything was so easy because you can just jump off a truck and you can just do whatever you want, and no was like concerning, and you can just go out and play. And this is like the feeling I have a bit like here in El Salvador, and this is also why I like it. But I also would say like no one like attach, and never you should attach yourself to something. So probably right now it's super awesome, probably like for the next 10 years it's super awesome, but you should always be free in your head. So it's like for certain times certain places are super awesome, but it can change pretty quickly. I mean, Bukele is doing a super good work, but what happens if Bukele is going away or whatever? I mean, it can always change. It can always change. So for right now, it's like the perfect place for me. But probably in 5 months, it's different. I'm not knowing this, so I'm just going like with the flow and with the moment. And for now, I can say for me personally, it's the best place to be. But for other people, they have to figure out for themselves. But it's probably worth to just check it out and give it a try.
And I think you told me you're staying at Los Cuatro Amigos. Yeah. So we had him on the show, another Bitcoin hotel. Here in
Bitcoin
El Zonte.
Airbnb.
I'm sorry, what?
Bitcoin Airbnb.
Yes, Bitcoin Airbnb. I think they have 4 rooms there or something like that.
5 now, or 6 even.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're looking to come to El Zonte and looking for something that's not going to break the bank, that's definitely a good place to look into. They have very reasonable rooms there.
Yes, right. They're super nice.
Yeah. So how long are you here till?
I'm like leaving in like a week, but just like for a week, and just like a quick visa run and things like that. So nothing drastically. And then I'm actually planning to stay here probably for the bull run, because what I was thinking about, probably traveling a bit, but for right now, I'm really focused on the YouTube channel. And if you like traveling all the time, then it's probably hard to travel too much. And also I realized, why should I go to another place if I'm happy here?
Yeah.
So I just bought like a motocross bike. I bought it with Bitcoin. This was also like a spiritual experience to buy like a motorcycle with Bitcoin. Because normally I just bought like small things with Bitcoin, but to buy like a motorcycle here in Bitcoin, I was super surprised. I just asked, can I buy with Bitcoin? I said, yeah, you can buy with Bitcoin. And then I asked like a motorcycle, and now I can explore like all the crazy hikes and go to the remote spaces and whatever. And there's so much to explore. So right now there is no real reason for me to go like to another place. So I'm just happy right now in El Salvador and exploring and enjoying.
Nice. Yeah. So you said you're going on a visa run. How many days did they give you coming from Germany?
Like 6 months.
Okay. I was going to say, 6 months, they usually, they give you 180 days.
Yeah.
So.
But it's not just a visa run. It's also like for some compliance things and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, if I not do the visa run now, I have to do it like in 3 or 4 months. So I'm just
rather
like,
get it out of the way now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So what would you tell people that are thinking, that have never visited El Salvador, but are thinking, because we see people that actually move here without visiting first. So what would you tell them to kind of think through before they move here?
I would definitely say go there first before you move there. And also, it's really a different thing of going to a country and like being just like as a tourist, or being like there just like for holidays or whatever, or living there. So for example, there are lots of countries in the world who are super awesome. I was like in many countries, but they are good like for vacation, for holiday. And probably El Salvador is not even the best place for holiday, because there are places in the world which have like way better nature, which have way more animals or whatever, depending on what you want. But I don't want it to come here to go here on vacation, but to be here productive, be part of El Salvador, be like probably even living here. And this is like something you have to really defer if you want to make like holidays, or if you want to really live there, because there is lots of reasons, in my opinion, that speak for El Salvador as a place of living, because you have like this economy going up and like the positive vibe, but also you have like the stability of the criminality, because it's actually now safer than in Germany. Like in most places in Germany,
which is crazy, because a few years ago, if you would have said that, people would have laughed at you. But
and this is like the next thing. It's just like Bukele said, like in an interview, he's not sure if the criminality like in the Western and what's going on there, if this is like by purpose, or if it's like just a random accident. I don't want to take like part or whatever, because if you say something, then they always are super like crazy going after you. But it's really like a question you can ask yourself: is this like happening just by accident, or is this really like purposefully like bringing the country down? Because there are also like everything is going with incentives. So if you set like the wrong incentives in the country, then probably wrong things will happen. And now they happened like in a Christmas. How do you say, a Christmas party?
The Christmas market.
Yeah, Christmas
thing
market.
Where they had
they haven't like
a
crazy thing. I mean, sure, this can happen everywhere. Also, like El Salvador is not like everywhere can.
What happened recently in the U.S. just in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's really like changing, because lots of people have like those patterns in their head. Like Germany is like the safest place in the world. It's like the best economy in the world. Like the US is like super safe, like super good economy. But things are really changing. Things are changing, and you have to really make a reality check and check if everything is really as you see, and also like the media is like gaslighting you. And I'm also looking like forward for what's now going on with X and probably all the social media, because what's happening now with also Mark Zuckerberg, like probably opening more to free speech, what's going on with all that, because probably it's really now the time to reality check and really to ask, okay, are the leaders really telling the truth? Is it really so good what they are telling to you? And also the same is with the money. People start to question, okay, if the inflation is 1-2%, you don't ask questions. But if it's going higher, and if they're making more and more stupid things, then people start to really ask, okay, what's going on here? And I think in Germany now the moment is happening that people are really like at the point where they don't want to be part of the clown show anymore, and they want to escape the clown show. And also like they're really like now making actions, and really like there is something changing, and this is like super positive. Also like for Germany, there is something changing now.
Well, I would think with the history of Germany, they've always been very sensitive to inflation and the currency weakening. And so probably now what they're seeing with the euro and the inflation happening, I'm sure for most Germans, that's very concerning.
Yeah, sure. But that's the problem, because we forgot about the inflation. That's what I already talked. Like probably you hear about the stories from your grandpa, but normally the cycles, they are like 100-year cycles. And then you have like the stories from your grandpa in your head, but the stories from your grandpa or from your grandpa or from your grandpa, you forget those stories, and you forget also that freedom has to be protected, and you have to go for freedom. And if you don't go for it, then the politicians will just steal the freedom from you. And if you don't always remember this truth, and also like if you don't go for freedom tools like Bitcoin or whatever, at some point they will just take it from you, and then you will wake up in socialism, and then everything is exploding, and then everything is starting from scratch again. And I think we forgot about the inflation. We forgot what happened in like the past in Germany. I mean, somewhere it's in our DNA or whatever, but it's like not present anymore. And like people who are growing up now, they don't think about, okay, there was Weimar hyperinflation, and it was like super, super bad. And you could like buy a bread with like you need like a whole truck of currency to buy like just bread or food or whatever. And you forget it, and then everything repeats. And this is what probably, I mean, I hope it's not coming so bad, because now we have Bitcoin, and probably we could do like a smart transition in Bitcoin. And also like as an individual, it's easy to escape. You just go to Bitcoin. And this is also what I always say: if you don't move with your feet, then at least move with your finances. So move in Bitcoin. This is like a way you can escape your country by staying in your country, because I understand it if you don't want to leave the country, because lots of people have family
your
there.
family, your life is there.
I mean, you have to see, I'm like not having like children or whatever. I'm like super free, super flexible, and I can talk like super easy, and tomorrow I can take all my thing and can go to another country or whatever. But if you have like family, if you have like commitments to whatever, or you have like complex business structures or whatever, then you can't just like go in another country. And also there's like escape tax. This is like the next thing what's happening now. They're now even taxing like stocks. So if you have like stock funds, they are doing like escape taxes. And the next thing what's coming is then probably Bitcoin, or I don't know. I mean, this is now conspiracy theory. But normally people nowadays, they are not like, how do you say it? If you want to escape, there is not like a big wall, but the wall is invisible. And this is what's happening. And you just have to be aware of it. And it's just like the time window for Bitcoin is closing. So the price is going up. And the later you buy, the less Bitcoin you get. And it's also like with escaping out of those, socialist countries, because the later you go, the harder it is to escape, because the regulation will go up, the escape tax mechanisms will go up, and whatever. And this is not the first time what's happening. This is like what happened like in the past, like many times.
No, and I think especially for you with having that German heritage and knowing, like having really felt that from your grandparents, kind of going through that, you realize how real it is. And like you said, these things are cycles and they do repeat. And a lot of people think, oh, it could never happen. That was in the way past. But you look and these things, they just repeat over and over again. So, well, I think we can leave on a more optimistic note of El Salvador is at a different part of that cycle. It's actually in the part of the cycle of they're breaking out of that and rebuilding kind of from the ashes. I mean, really, the time where the gangs were dominating things here was akin to a war. And so now we're like kind of coming out of that here. And like you said, there's so many business opportunities. There's so many different things happening. And it's a place where you can just feel the optimism is in the air. It's really palatable. Would love for you to leave people where they can, obviously your YouTube channel is in German. So for people that are not German speakers, that might be a little bit of a challenge, but for those that are, make sure they know where they can find your YouTube channel. And then if there's any other place they can follow you on Twitter or any other socials that you're on. And then obviously leave us with the hotel once again. If people are in Germany, they can make sure they go there for one of their stays.
So actually it started like an experiment, because now I also have like a AI translated English channel.
Oh, nice.
And this is already like having like, not like big audience, but like 70, 80,000 views per month. So it's like growing.
Oh, that's
it's actually
great.
just like with AI auto-synced my lips and also auto-synced like the language. It's not like 100% perfect, but it's like probably 90% perfect. And if people who are now listening or watching here, who are watching like the English AI translated channel, if they are watching the interview, they will probably be shocked, because on the AI generated YouTube channel, my English is better than I'm speaking here, because I'm not having like an accent or whatever. It's actually, this is like the real voice, and on the AI generated.
Oh, we'll have to get some help from you then, because we really would like to put these out in Spanish. Obviously being here in El Salvador.
It's super easy. I can show you.
Okay, we'll have to. Paco, we'll have to do that, because we've talked about doing that before, and we looked into it like a year ago, but I don't think the technology was really
now
there
it's really
a year
ready,
ago.
and it's really awesome, because every week it's getting better. So probably 1 month ago it was like way worse, and now it's getting better. And there are even people now writing me emails in English. Hey Mark, I'm looking like your videos and it looks so awesome on the waterfalls and whatever. And then I'm asking, did you actually realize it's AI generated YouTube channel? And what AI are they talking about? So
really,
some people, they don't even realize it. I mean, some people, if you look closely, you realize it. I mean, it's confusing for me that some people don't realize it, but there are really people that don't realize it. And you can definitely check Bitcoin Hotel. You can check Bitcoin.
So what's the YouTube channel? So
the YouTube channel is Bitcoin Hotel.
Bitcoin Hotel. Okay.
Yes, the English one is Bitcoin Hotel, EN for English.
Okay.
Then you can check X. It's also Bitcoin Hotel. You can just type it in Google, then you will find our homepage and everything. It's located in South Germany, in Plochingen. It's near Stuttgart. It's like a small town. Just type in Bitcoin Hotel at whatever social media platform you are. You will find like lots of crazy things.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be here, and thanks for the nice experience.
No, I'm definitely glad to meet you and put a face with this hotel that I've heard about, and yeah, we'll have to play around with the AI thing too. That's something good for us to look at, and I'm gonna go now and look at your channel in English and see if I can tell. So. All right, Marc. Well, I'll let you get back out there and enjoy the sun today. It's a beautiful day here in Zonte, and yeah, we'll have to have you back on your next trip.
Awesome. Nice to be here.